In one case, a woman had to go to the hospital.
After 3 decades, a suspect is in American custody for the bombing of Pan Am Flight 103 over Lockerbie, Scotland.
And here at home, thousands of people making the pilgrimage to the shrine of Our Lady of Guadalupe in Des Plaines as we welcome you on this Monday morning.
Live from Chicago's #1 news, ABC7 Eyewitness News at 7 starts streaming now.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Val Warner.
And I'm Tanya Babbage, in for Terrell this morning. It is 7 o'clock and 36 degrees, and man, is it cloudy. And Tracy, it's just more of the same.
Oh my gosh, the winter doldrums are upon us, and we do have patchy drizzle and some light rain showers around the area, especially in the city, just on the North Shore, from Evanston. If you're up around Deerfield, you're probably getting some of this light rain too. Fortunately, we're above freezing, so freezing drizzle is not an issue. It's just more of a nuisance than anything. 36 right now at O'Hare, 37 at Midway, 36 degrees right now in Gary. Today, our high temperatures are going to be up around 40 degrees, and overall a gray day coming our way. Let's see what's coming your way traffic-wise. Diane?
Got to start with the Metra delay. We've got problems on the UP Northwest line, so both trains in both directions, both the inbound and outbound trains, are actually halted. They're stopped right now over at the Des Plaines station because there's a vehicle stuck on the track. So until they get that vehicle off the tracks, they can't move these trains. So check metrorail.com so you're not waiting at the station too long. If you're planning on driving this morning, we're not seeing any major problems on the expressways or on the tollways. All of your inbound travel times and all the major expressways are under 40 minutes, which is pretty rare for a Monday morning. Let's go up to Chopper 7 HD because we did hear of a crash on the Stevenson right near the Tri-State. You can see some flashing lights there in the distance. Not sure it's affecting traffic. Actually, you know what? That's all construction. That's not even a crash. So it looks like we can't find anything there. We'll keep looking for one and let you know if we see anything. But right now, things seem to be moving quite nicely on both the expressways and on the tollways. Valentania.
It's been a pretty decent Monday, Diane. Thank you. Now to breaking news. Chicago police are investigating a series of armed robberies in the city overnight.
We know one victim was taken to the Illinois Masonic Hospital. That's in Lakeview, and our Christian Picos is there live with the very latest. Christian.
Valentania, Chicago police say that 36-year-old woman is in good condition here at Illinois Masonic Hospital after she was attacked earlier this morning during an armed robbery. Now, police say this attack happened early this morning at around 4 o'clock on the 3100 block of West Grace on the northwest side when 3 men got out of a silver sedan with guns. The suspects then demanded the woman's belongings. CPD says she gave the men what they asked for, but was then struck on the head before the suspects took off. Now, there have been at least 5 similar armed robberies this morning all across the city, some involving a silver sedan. Police have not yet confirmed if they are connected. The first was reported at 3 a.m. on the 2600 block of West Rice, and the latest on the 2300 block of West Superior at 4. In each case, police say the armed suspects approached victims demanding wallets and purses. Now, we are told that one of those victims was cut, but the others are not seriously hurt. Valentania, back to you.
Thank you, Christian. This morning, Chicago police are searching for a gunman who shot and killed 3 people on the northwest side. The gunfire broke out early yesterday morning near the intersection of Central Avenue and School Street in Belmont-Cragen. Police say a fight inside a bar then spilled into the street. New surveillance video here shows people sprinting down Central after the shots were fired. The victims are identified as 26-year-old Mario Pozuelos, 24-year-old Mercedes Tavares, and 50-year-old Ricky Vera.
Rick will give you the shirt off his back. Excellent husband, excellent grandfather, excellent father, excellent brother.
A 4th victim, who Ortiz says is Ricky Vera's daughter, was critically wounded and underwent 12 hours of surgery. Right now, thousands of people are in suburban Des Plaines for the celebration at the Shrine of Our Lady of Guadalupe.
People from near and far making the pilgrimage for the tradition. Jessica D'Onofrio is live in Des Plaines with more on this. Good morning, Jess.
Good morning, Valentania. It's now starting to rain out here in Des Plaines, but pilgrims continue to arrive this morning. Take a look behind me at that beautiful shrine. Many tell me they've made this pilgrimage to give thanks, but also to pray for a better year ahead. This two-day celebration of Our Lady of Guadalupe, also known as the Virgin or Mother Mary, has attracted the largest gathering of pilgrims in the United States. Hundreds of thousands of pilgrims have been arriving since last night to pay homage to the patroness of the Americas by foot, bus, or car. Cardinal Blaise Cupich was the main celebrant at a mass last night before the celebration's opening mass. A huge fireworks display also lit up the sky. This morning I spoke to Jasmine Montissimo, who says she's trying to be more religious and is finding an inner peace here at the shrine.
My dad recently passed away, so for her to really take care of his soul, to really, to show me that she's here to protect me, to protect my family.
The holy celebration continued overnight into today. Late last night, there was a special serenade followed by midnight mass as more pilgrims continued to pour in. And back here live, that continues into this morning, along with more masses that are planned throughout the day. Valentania, back to you.
All right, Jessica, thank you. We have a sad update to share about Chicago's so-called walking man. Joseph Cremelis has died nearly 7 months after an attacker set him on fire. The 75-year-old was a familiar face in the downtown Chicago area. He earned the nickname the Walking Man because he was often seen roaming the area on foot. In May, he was critically injured while he slept on the ground at Kinsey and Lower Wabash. Someone doused him with a flammable liquid and then lit him on fire. Joseph Guaria was charged with attempted murder and arson after that attack. Also new this morning, Chicago police have made an arrest in the deadly shooting of a 15-year-old girl and another man in the Austin neighborhood. 18-year-old Edwin Lagunas is facing several charges, including 2 counts of first-degree murder. Police say he shot and killed 15-year-old Ruby Navarrete and Leonard Hawkins during a garage party last month. A third person was also hurt. Lagunas is expected in court today for a bond hearing.
And now to a major breakthrough in the long-running investigation into the terror attack involving Pan Am Flight 103 that exploded over Lockerbie, Scotland.
Nearly 34 years later, the man accused of making the bomb that brought down the plane is in U.S. custody. He could appear in court as soon as today. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze joins us live from Washington with more on this.
Good morning, Val and Tanya. Well, this was one of the deadliest terror attacks on Americans in U.S. history. And now the man accused of making that explosive device that took down the plane is set to face justice.
After an investigation spanning more than 3 decades, this man, Abu Aguila Masood, is now in U.S. custody facing federal charges, accused of building a bomb that took down Pan Am Flight 103 over Lockerbie, Scotland. It was the deadliest terror attack ever on British soil, killing 270 people, including 190 Americans. Bert Ammerman's brother Tom was one of them.
Everybody loved Tom. He had 2 daughters at the time, 6 and 4, a wife. He was 36, young. He didn't get to live his life.
On December 21st, 1988, Flight 103 was en route to New York from London. In the air less than an hour when an explosion brought down the Boeing 747. Everyone on board was killed, including a group of Americans from Syracuse University who'd been studying abroad. Debris scattering so far, 11 people on the ground also died.
Families can't walk away from this. This has been part of the legacy of their loved ones and their growing up.
Masood was at the time known as the chief bomb maker for former Libyan President Muammar Gaddafi. Stephanie Bernstein, whose husband Michael died in the attack, telling ABC News Masood confessed to the bombing but to a Libyan authority, adding it wasn't clear that ever we could get him. His extradition to the U.S. a major breakthrough. Catherine Turman, a former FBI assistant director who worked closely with the victims' families, calling it another step toward accountability, even after all these years.
Now, it's not clear how U.S. authorities brought Masood back here to U.S. soil, but we do know that he is expected to appear in a D.C. federal court as soon as today. Tanya?
Elizabeth Schulze, thank you. If you take the Metra, double check your train schedule this morning. Some riders may see changes as Metra upgrades service on 4 lines starting today. Metra is adding more trains to the Milwaukee District North, Milwaukee District West, and North Central service lines. In addition, it is delaying the departure time for 2 afternoon trains on the Heritage Corridor line. Metra says the changes are in response to ridership trends and rider feedback.
You have just a few more days left to cast your vote for the winner in our Great Chicago Light Fight.
Have a look at the finalists here. They include the Hirsch family from Tinley Park, the Newton family from Linwood, the Kobleski family, top right-hand corner there from Naperville, Foy family down on the left, and Sandberg family from Elk Grove Village.
That's going to be a tough decision,
isn't it?
Looking at these images, because they're all winners in my book.
I just want to stay on this picture for a little while.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You could always take JoJo on a ride. She'd love that.
Right?
To see all the lights.
That would take us a while to get all over the place.
That's okay. Head to ABC7Chicago.com to cast your vote by Wednesday. The winner will be announced live on Friday during our 6 a.m. newscast.
All is possible with children so long as you have snacks.
Exactly. And
we can do anything with snacks. Just have a lot of them.
In her age?
Yeah.
3? Yeah. Oh,
Still
yeah.
Yeah, especially in the car.
I remember. You got to remember, I'm way far removed from those days. But you never forget.
Yeah. No, you don't. Your live and local news is just getting started as we stream out loud this morning. And coming up, ooh, look at this extreme winter weather moving across the country right now, how the system is affecting travel around the U.S. this morning, and how this is headed for us.
That's right. But first, Tracy has your AccuWeather forecast coming up. The big question on most folks' mind, when will we see the sun return? Hopefully, she has an answer for us coming up. Right now, weather across parts of the country is causing thousands of flight delays.
The 2 winter storms are causing problems from coast to coast. In the Northeast, the first steady snowfall of the season caused multiple crashes in Massachusetts.
Out on the west, a dangerous system dumped heavy rain and massive amounts of snow in the mountains of California. Here's ABC's Morgan Norwood.
Overnight, 2 major storms causing problems from coast to coast. In the Northeast, the first steady snowfall of the season causing multiple crashes in Massachusetts. Police restricting speeds on parts of I-90. At least 7 cars involved in one crash and 1 serious injury reported. In some areas north of New York City, more than ½ a foot of snow coming down.
It's really coming down here in Brewster, New York off I-64. This truck stop's getting more active as the snow starts to accumulate on the roads.
A far more dangerous system is affecting multiple states in the West. What's being called an atmospheric bowling ball, dumping heavy rain and massive amounts of snow, up to 4 feet in the mountains of Northern California, with blizzard conditions and avalanche warnings.
Have you heard about the avalanche dangers?
I know that it's still snowing up there pretty good. It does increase the risk of there being another one.
In that same area, heavy winds sent power lines crashing down on or near occupied cars. Police telling drivers to stay inside until the proper crews could ensure their safety. the wind also forcing this ski resort in South Lake Tahoe to temporarily close. The ski lift swinging violently. Winds gusting up to 60 miles per hour. Farther south, heavy rain triggering flooding. That storm now heading east. It could bring blizzard conditions to part of the upper Midwest by tomorrow, and severe thunderstorms and possible tornadoes to parts of the south. Morgan Norwood, ABC News, New York.
All right, back here at home, Tracy, I know we have a lot of clouds in store. We're watching for a system, too, like in the next day or so. But are we going to ever see the sun again?
The sun will come out.
Not tomorrow?
Nope.
Not Wednesday?
Nope.
Thursday? Friday? Next week?
Maybe Sunday. Maybe Sunday.
Maybe Sunday.
Yeah, we might get a peek or two today, but oh gosh, that would be about it. But yeah, that storm system that you just talked about, this is what we're focusing on. So it is going to continue to move eastwards. As it does, it's going to pick up more in the way of Gulf moisture. This is going to be our midweek storm. So as we do take a peek, most of these alerts are all winter weather alerts, from blizzard warnings to winter weather advisories. There are high wind warnings as well, most likely in the deep south, in Texas, in Arkansas, Oklahoma. They're looking at a potential severe weather outbreak. For us, the good news is, unless you want a lot of snow, but we are going to be on the side of rain with this system, and it arrives tomorrow, most likely as we get closer to about 8 o'clock in the evening. What we get today is just minor. It's patchy nuisance drizzle this morning. But this is going to be a soaking rain. Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, gusty winds will be with us too. Now, it does look like maybe during the morning commute Wednesday, we get a little bit of a break, but then we're not done. We're gonna have periods of rain off and on here on Wednesday, and some of us could pick up over a half an inch to an inch of rain by the time it's done on Wednesday. Diane?
Well, we don't have any major traffic troubles on the expressways or on the tollways, and this is now over, which is good. So we had the Union Pacific Northwest Line train stopped because there was a car stuck on the tracks over at the displaying station. They've removed that car. Trains are back on the move. There may be some residual delays, but probably not by much. Just check metrorail.com before you go. I did just get an alert from CTA as I was walking out on the red line. Sounds like there may be an issue at 95th, so trains are delayed in both directions there. So obviously check your app so you're not waiting at the station too long. If you're planning on driving, the only traffic we're seeing is really mainly on the inbound side, not too heavy on the outbound side, and still on all the major expressways. About a 40-minute trip coming inbound into the Jane Byrne interchange. Valentania.
All right, Diane, thank you. WNBA star Brittney Griner has dunked a ball for the first time in months. She spent another night at a Texas Army Medical Center. She's said to be in good health and pretty good spirits. These are new photos of Griner with the team that brought her home after 10 months in a Russian prison on drug charges. We also heard from her hostage negotiator, who says once on the plane, he offered Griner space to decompress.
And she said, "Oh no, I've been in prison for 10 months now listening to Russian. I want to talk. But first of all, who are these guys?" And she moved right past me and went to every member on that crew, looked them in the eyes, shook their hands, and asked about them, got their names.
Griner was freed in a prisoner swap last week for so-called merchant of death Russian Victor Bout, who was being held here in Illinois. Some critics are slamming the Biden administration for the deal.
Eyewitness News, streaming at 7, continues after a break.
President Biden will sign the Respect for Marriage Act into law this week. The House gave final approval to the bill earlier last week. The law gives federal protection to same-sex and interracial marriages. The president is planning to sign the bill at the White House on tomorrow.
The Cook County State's Attorney's Office is making changes to how law enforcement is able to execute search warrants. Starting this Friday, officers who receive a warrant will be required to report back which items were seized and if any arrests were made. The State's Attorney's Office says this will allow them to better track the outcomes of those search warrants and help them to make decisions on future requests.
The filing period begins today in Cook County for school board candidates for the April 2023 consolidated election. More than 700 candidates from 145 suburban school districts are expected to file paperwork to run for seats on local boards. Candidates have until December 19th to file paperwork with the Cook County Clerk's office. Today, residents of Northwest Indiana can learn more about a proposed hike in electric rates. The Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission is hosting the first of two public hearings on the proposed NIPSCO rate increase. The utility wants a 16.5% hike over several years. The higher prices would start in 2023. Tonight's meeting is at 6 at Purdue University, Northwest in Hammond. A second meeting is January 4th in Valparaiso.
Today marks the 20th anniversary of Stroger Hospital. Cook County Health will host a celebration this afternoon. County Board President Tony Preckwinkle and other local leaders plan to be there. The former Cook County Hospital was renamed after John H. Stroger Jr., the first Black president of the Cook County Board. The new facility opened its doors December 12th, 2002.
20 years. Right now, we are going to join our Good Morning America viewers.
I'm going to have a news update for you on TV in just a little bit. You'll see it here as well.
And then when we come back, a great-grandmother is making Chicago proud. She's 90 years old and just graduated college. More on her amazing journey coming up.
Now, an update from ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Good morning at 7:23. I'm Tanya Babich. We continue to follow breaking news. Chicago police are investigating at least 6 separate armed robberies in the city overnight. One of the robberies happened around 4 o'clock this morning in the 3100 block of West Grace on the northwest side. The other 5 robberies also took place between 2 and 4 a.m. In each case, police say multiple armed offenders approached the victims for their wallets and purses. We're told 2 victims were injured. In most of the incidents, the suspects escaped in a silver sedan. Let's get a check of our ABC7 AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist Tracy Butler.
Hi there, Tanya. You know, we continue with this off and on precipitation. It's mainly light rain and drizzle, and it's not that steady nor heavy, but it's more of a nuisance than anything. So you might need your windshield wipers a couple of times this morning. 36 O'Hare, 37 out at Midway, 36 degrees right now in Gary. Temperatures are not going to move much today. All of this cloud cover is going to hold those numbers down. Tomorrow, yeah, big shocker, right? Cloudy skies, highs around 42 degrees. We'll take a break. Diane after this.
Now's the time for a healthy start. So let's move. Let's rest and recharge. And put our health first. Let's be well. To do that, let's eat well. Breathe deep. Find joy in the little moments. And do what we love with who we love. Together, let's live well. Advocate Aurora Health.
Welcome back, everybody. Slow start this morning, but now we're starting to see more and higher travel times, more people on the road, and majority of that is coming inbound into the city, where we're starting to see travel times of about 45 minutes on all the major expressways. No major problems on the tollways. I do want to get to some suburban crashes for you this morning. It's been fairly busy out in the suburbs. We start out in Addison, Rawling Road and Fullerton Road. We do have a crash in that intersection. Authorities are with it. Then out to Hanover Park, County Farm Road and Schick Road. We have a crash there as well. And one more, Hoffman Estates, Barrington Road and Golf Road. Pretty busy intersection there, so folks are stopping to get through that intersection. You might experience some wet roads. Nothing too slick out there, though. Be careful.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It is 7:27, cloudy start to the day. Some areas got a little rain this morning. Tracy's going to be back to talk about another system that we're watching for later on. Well, you hear the cheers. A 90-year-old college graduate is making Chicago proud. That's Joyce DeFaul crossing the stage in DeKalb as she graduated from Northern Illinois University. DeFaul received her bachelor's degree in general studies on Sunday.
She started college in 1951 but dropped out to get married and have children. The grandmother of 17 and great-grandmother of 24 said it was her family who encouraged her to return. And what an example she is setting for every single one of them.
Absolutely. You can always finish. It is never
Look
too
at that
late.
smile,
I wonder
too.
what was on her cap. I'm sure her 17 grandkids or her 24 great-grands helped decorate her cap there. So.
Can't fit all their names on there.
Yeah.
Maybe you can. I don't know.
All right. Well, coming up this morning, the battle over these red light cameras near Oakbrook Mall could be decided today.
Thousands gather for a holy pilgrimage to Des Plaines.
You're watching ABC7 Eyewitness News at 7, streaming live now.
Let's have a quick look at some of the stories we'll be watching for you today. One of the men charged in the shooting that paralyzed Chicago police officer Danny Golden is due in court today. Golden was off duty when he tried to break up a fight between two groups when he was shot last June. Prosecutors say Justin Chrismantis was an accomplice in the shooting. He remains in custody, and today he's expected to ask a judge to set bond.
Oakbrook Terrace could find out if it can keep its red light cameras running near Oakbrook Mall today. The Village of Oakbrook has called for the removal of the cameras, which are placed at Route 83 and 22nd Street. The Illinois Department of Transportation deactivated them back in May, saying Oakbrook Terrace violated a safety agreement, but the suburb filed suit, arguing that IDOT overstepped its authority with that order. In August, a judge allowed the city to reactivate the cameras until the issue is resolved in court, and that final decision is expected today.
The celebration honoring Our Lady of Guadalupe continues today in Des Plaines. Pilgrims from the Chicago area and beyond have been arriving at the shrine to pay homage to the Virgin Mary. More masses will continue there throughout the day. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. I'm Tanya Babich and Terrell.
Yes, that's right. And I'm Val Warner. Thank you for being with us. Tanya, we are going to step outside now and check in with Tracy on this weather. I don't know, this is the shot that you're not necessarily looking forward to when you got to get up and go to work. This is the kind of one that makes you stay in bed.
Exactly. That is a live look. The cloud cover has just been so stubborn, has been with us forever. It's going to continue to be with us most of this week. And we've had some drizzle and light rain showers coming out of these clouds. Right now, kind of drizzly right here in the city. So you're probably going to need your windshield wipers several times this morning, kind of curving up through Evanston right now. If you're up around Wheeling or Des Plaines, you may be seeing some of those showers right now too. Currently, numbers, at least they're above freezing. We don't have concerns about freezing drizzle in the area this morning, and that's certainly some good news. But it's just going to be another fairly gray day, and those high temperatures today up around 40 degrees. Let's check in with Diane.
Seeing the typical delays at this hour, Tracy, on all of the expressways coming into the city, roughly around 45 minutes on all the major expressways coming inbound. Kennedy, Eisenhower, Stevenson, not so heavy on the Ryan. We're seeing some delays on the Tri-State as well as far as the tollways are concerned. Now, getting to some suburban crashes. These are a few new ones for you this morning in Winfield, Chestnut Street and County Farm Road. We do have a crash there. We have one more crash for you out in the suburbs as well. This is in Fox Lake, US 12, just south of Route 134. We do have heavy equipment there causing that. So that yellow line, it's causing some delays approaching that scene. So give yourself a little extra time if that is your route, usually in the morning. Let's go back to Val and Tanya.
All right, Diane, thank you. Now to today's talker. It's Google Trends of the Year. The tech company released its 2022 year in search report. So here basically are the top most search items of this year so far. Coming in at number 1, Wordle.
I'm
you
surprised.
play Wordle, and Tracy plays Wordle.
I do play Wordle.
I guess a lot of people are curious about it.
But I've kind of fallen off the bandwagon. So this was like, I feel like this is an early 2022 search word.
Oh, no.
No? Tracy, you're still on board?
Very much so. I got
My love of Wordle has waned.
Really?
I'm back to, I love the New York Times crossword. That's my jam. I do it almost every day.
I mean, go ahead. We can talk more.
No. Tell me what you're going to say about Wordle. We can take a break.
No, I mean, I was at the Ides of March yesterday, and one of the band members said, "Hey, are you doing Wordle?" So, and I have competitions with my brothers and my parents and my girlfriends.
How fun.
We do. My
husband does ask me if I get it. I think he plays every day.
Big Wordle.
Okay. Well, what about election results? We can probably imagine that would be a top Google search for sure.
I Googled a lot of those because there were a lot of races you wanted to keep track of that were undecided, over the course of several days. So that's not surprising. I was watching that pretty closely.
Yeah. Of course, Betty White. She was Googled quite a bit this year. Queen Elizabeth, no surprise there, right?
Mm-hmm. And coming in at number 5, Bob Saget. Ukraine follows that. Obviously, lots of news coming out of there in the war between Ukraine and Russia. The Mega Millions, some big jackpots this year. Powerball numbers as well. Everybody hoping that they're big winners.
Yeah. Then Anne Heche came in as the 9th most searched item. And Jeffrey Dahmer. Yes. With that Netflix special, I'm sure.
What's the name of that? Does anybody know?
Dahmer.
It's called Dahmer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Rounded out the top 10. So we're going to officially welcome in Tracy and Diane to this chat. Ladies, anything about that list strike you as odd or pretty predictable?
It just feels old.
It feels boring to me.
It feels boring and old. Like I feel like there's so many more searches today or in the last couple of weeks.
That are more interesting.
Anything you want to share?
I'm with you on that.
I don't know. Now I have to rack my brain. I feel like I Google everything. But what is the most, I don't know, the most popular thing I Google? I don't know.
What do I Google?
Probably recipes, maybe? Something
I do Google
food,
a lot of recipes. Totally.
Yeah.
You know what? We just showed video of Roger Federer retiring, and when he and Rafa played in that big match together. I think that was a big thing.
Serena, too, this
Yes,
year.
I was just going to say Serena. But I mean, the Queen, I get that, though, Queen Elizabeth, because that captured the world's attention there for quite a bit of time. Because remember, she passed, and then the funeral was weeks later.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of time to search and learn and, figure out royal history and
remember
what happens next.
The Crown just debuted its latest season 2.
Right, and they didn't put up that
a
disclaimer on the trailer. Yeah, so lots of stuff. And sports-wise, you're right. Oh, I remember her.
Wow. Oh, Lizzo's dress. Was it that dress? I think it was that red dress. She actually donated to a fan.
It wasn't the dress, but the fan asked to wear that, so she got her own. Yes, I do remember
love
that.
it. I love
I love that about Lizzo
she's
too.
The best.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
we'll come up with a better list.
Yes.
For next year. You guys.
ABC7 Eyewitness News continues streaming out loud coming up after the break. We are back in 90 seconds.
Thank you.
Good morning to you. This morning, watching the radar, and while it's not a lot of rain, it's really a nuisance of some light rain and drizzle that continues to come right off of the lake, coming into the city. If you're in Evanston right now, most likely you are seeing some of that rain. It is 38 in Waukegan, 35 in Peatone, 34 degrees Rensselaer, 35 right now in Aurora. And in fact, let's go around a little bit. 37 now in Oak Park, 37 in Highland Park, 36 degrees right now, Northbrook, Westmont right now at 36, Homer Glen, Romeoville at 36, along with that temperature in Gary. These temperatures are not going to fluctuate all that much today. At best, we might sneak in a 40-degree temperature, but the gray skies definitely rule. Even tomorrow is looking like another gray day. And I think overall, tomorrow during the daytime hours, it's dry, but our rain chances are going to be on the increase here tomorrow evening and into the day on Wednesday. And it is going to become a fairly windy period as well. Diane?
You look system-wide at the big picture. We are seeing those travel times on the rise. It took a while to get here, but now we are seeing fairly high travel times, both on the inbound side and in some areas, like, for example, the Eisenhower and on the Kennedy, which is pretty typical. We're seeing those delays on the outbound side as well. Nothing is over about 45 minutes to come into the city, and going outbound is less than that. So at least that's a bit of good news for you. We do have one crash. It's northbound. Actually, it's a stall. It's northbound on the Tri-State right past Ogden Avenue. I tried to check the cameras. It's really hard to see, so I'm going to see if I can zoom in, pinpoint, see if the stall's causing any problems. I did notice some brake lights in the area, so just keep that in mind if you typically take the Tri-State. And then speaking of the tollways, we're going out and taking a look at the Jane Addams right around Rosemont, but we're not seeing any problems whatsoever. So a bit of good news for you there too as well. Valentania.
All right, Diane, thank you. Well, this Friday, a big party at one of Chicago's favorite museums. Chance the Rapper, along with support from his organization called Social Works, will be hosting a night at the Museum of Science and Industry. Now, the event benefiting people experiencing homelessness. We are joined this morning by Essen Smith and Justin Cunningham, both with Social Works, and they are here to talk a little bit more about Friday. Good morning to you both. Hey, fam.
Hey, what's happening?
Hey, so we are back, right? So we didn't have a night at the museum for a couple of years.
Yeah, we didn't have it for 2 years. We didn't have it for 2 years because of everything that was going on. But people are comfortable. People are ready to get back to the Museum of Science and Industry and hang out with Chance, Social Works, and all of Chicago.
That's right. So what's going to be special about the 4th annual A Night at the Museum for the city of Chicago and everyone who's coming out?
I think there's a lot of things that make it special this year. First of all, we have about 60 plus vendors. We have performers. The exhibits and the actual museum are going to be open. But we also are using a Black-owned ticket company this year, Val, which is super exciting. And then the main call of action for A Night at the Museum is for it to benefit those experiencing homelessness. So all the guests that come, we encourage you to bring a donation that we later give to those that are experiencing homelessness here in the city of Chicago.
Right, and that's such an important cause. As the weather gets bad and it gets cold, you have to think about those folks who don't have a home. How much, Essence, are tickets?
$15. Only $15.
That is a great deal. And Justin, why don't you describe Social Works' Warmest Winter Initiative?
So Social Works' Warmest Winter Initiative is all about providing service, donation, and direct support for those experiencing homelessness. You know, it starts early in October, where we start with a citywide clothing drive. It makes its way to A Night at the Museum, and then finally ends in February, March, where we're able to provide a resource fair for those in shelter.
And I think it's pretty, no secret, I should say, that Chance the Rapper is a big fan of Chicago museums. So this was pretty special for him to even start this initiative years ago, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, without a doubt.
So for folks who are buying their tickets, they're going to bring their donation. They're going to want to know, are they going to get to see Chance the Rapper?
Chance the Rapper will be in the building, yes. He comes every year. It's one of his favorite events, he says, that we produce. So he will be there loud and proud.
And it's a family affair too, right? So bring the entire family out?
Yes.
Bring the entire family out.
Yes, grandma to toddlers.
From Meemaw to the toddlers, huh? Let me ask you guys this, and I'm going to let you go. You know, like we mentioned earlier, we are coming back after, I keep saying we, like I'm a part of the organization, but you're coming back after the pandemic. Is there anything that's going to be special or different about this year's A Night at the Museum since we are coming up after the pandemic?
Yes, there is. Chance will be showing off his Christmas movie. Social Works will be sharing updates about our new initiatives, My State of Mind, and we're even going to have a recording studio put up at the museum. So it's going to be a lot of things to do. Art of the Brick. I mean, we're totally reimagining the 400,000 square foot Museum of Science and Industry. So it'll be like none before, and we're really excited to bring this back to Chicago this year.
I bet you guys.
And shout out Ben & Jerry's. Ben & Jerry's is our key sponsor too. They're going to have a huge activation for Chance's new ice cream, mint chocolate Chance. So come on out. It's going to be a great time.
So that means there's going to be ice cream there too?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, now you're talking to a girl's heart. All right, Essence, Justin, thank you guys so much for waking up with us this morning. All the best with the event this Friday.
Thanks, Val.
Thank you.
All right, again, the 4th annual A Night at the Museum event is this Friday. It happens at the Museum of Science and Industry from 6 until 10 at night. For ticket and more information, visit ABC7Chicago.com, and we'll be right back with more Streaming Out Loud. The band The Ides of March held their 25th annual Christmas concert yesterday.
Money raised goes to the band's charity, A Vehicle for Education. There was a packed house for the concert at the Displays Theater, and the show was hosted, oh, I love the Christmas jacket there. The show was hosted by our own Tracy Butler, who showed up in costume as Trixie in her special outfit there. Tracy, you looked wonderful, and I know these are such dear friends of yours. I'm sure they loved having you out there as much as you loved being there.
You know what? First of all, when they asked me, they said it's a 3 p.m. show, so it's before your bedtime.
Yeah, I'm glad that they know it's your bedtime.
Well. Oh my gosh! So yeah, I don't have enough time to really talk about what these guys mean to me, and also I'll just give you the Cliff Notes version. First of all, their philanthropy, the amount of time that they donate to various organizations and to help people, I don't think people really understand the scope of what these guys do for others. Like I said, the amount of time they have given so very generously. They're so humble. I mean, Jim Peterick, this guy is a rock star. He is a legend. The amount of music he has written for not just the Ides, but so many other bands is just, you could go on and on. The other thing that is so important to me, the message in their music about what the meaning of Christmas really is, it was so evident in that theater last night and in their music, and it has been for decades. So we know that Sharing Christmas is one of their big Christmas songs. And it is more than just ribbons and bows.
It's wonderful.
I love them.
And Tracy, you talk about how much they have given. When you look at that impact on an annual basis and for how long they have been at it, it is that much greater.
And they have this foundation called Vehicle for Education, where they, there we are behind the scenes. My friend Lisa went with me. Lisa, who happens to be Larry Mowry's wife.
Oh, wow.
My dear friend. But Vehicle for Education helps students who want to pursue an artistic
look at that
scholarship.
Picture.
Anything goes with purple hair, anything.
Right.
But I love Vehicle for Education and the foundation that the Ides have established. It's so important to nurture the creativity of students. And so they have been doing that to help students at Morton West to seek education beyond high school in that field.
What do you think of the theater? Wasn't that an awesome?
Beautiful
Isn't it gorgeous
theater.
What they've done with it?
Oh my gosh, over 100 years, Ron Onesti was there and, you know, got a little bit of a tour of the underground of the theater.
Isn't it
too.
something?
Wow. It's something. That Displays Theater is amazing.
Wow.
Loved it. Thank
Great
you
way
for
to spend
asking
your
that.
Sunday.
Yeah, it was.
I think next year, Tracy, you might need to have a co-host out there. Ryan Cheverini would love, I'm sure, to go out there. Although you might find him on stage with the band and neglecting his hosting duties.
By all means. And I know they would love to have him.
Of course. Yeah, right in that very stage right behind you. They've had so many performances down through the years for Windy City Live. And everything you said about them, class act, top notch.
They're always so friendly.
Yep. Awesome guys. Awesome band. And the guys that you didn't see behind the scenes, too.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing all of that, Tracy. Please remember, as you do your holiday shopping, there is still time to give to the Disney Ultimate Toy Drive. You can purchase a toy to donate at shopdisney.com now through December 24th, or you can drop off a toy at any one of several locations through December 21st.
And this past Saturday morning, Tracy had a busy weekend. She helped collect thousands of toys for Tots. This was at the Stuff the Truck event, and it was live from Tinley Park. And Tracy, you had a lot of really generous visitors come through and give toys.
I want to tell you a couple of stories. First of all, there was a lady named Sue who came, and she was so dear. And Sue had mentioned that she had a choice either to come to the toy drive and maybe bring us a donation or go to a store, but then she didn't know how the donation was going to get there because she has a bad foot and she needs to have surgery. So she brought her little red change purse, you know, the kinds that have the little gold balls on the top, my grandmother had, and she pulled out a donation, and it was so dear. Sue, thank you so much. To the folks who drove from Long Grove with a U-Haul to Tinley Park.
Long Grove to Tinley.
And we open it, and it's
I hope they didn't go under the bridge.
I was in such shock because we weren't expecting anything like that, and and it was filled. There's John Oferovich from Apple Chevrolet Ballet. They do an incredible job with the toy drive there.
Oh,
That's incredible. How many toys. Oh, and Santa was there to make sure that he
still time to
greeted
give.
everyone. All right. Well, Tracy, thank you so much. Hopefully you squeezed in a little rest this weekend. We appreciate everything you've done for this station and so much more. More news coming up after the break.
Eyewitness News streaming at 7 continues after a break.
Well, this morning we have a celebrity shout out to Bob Barker for a milestone birthday. He turns 99 years young today. His rep tells us Barker will spend the day watching his favorite TV shows. And fun fact, on this very day back in 2013, Barker returned to The Price is Right to celebrate his 90th birthday.
Wow, 99.
Did you know that I was once in the audience?
Were you?
I was.
You didn't get picked?
He called us the terrible trio from Cornell. We had our Cornell shirts on the front. And Theta loves Bob. It was a couple of my sorority sisters. And they kept quizzing me. I think I almost got on the show. When they asked me, what is your favorite game other than Plinko? I drew a blank.
Oh, that's okay. I bet you that was just so cool to be in that audience,
Super
though,
fun.
for The Price is Right. Legendary. Well, today is National Gingerbread House Day. The gingerbread. Go to the gingerbread house and celebrate, because we are out of time right now. So thank you so much for watching Eyewitness News at 7 a.m. Tanya's going to have news updates, and Tracy and Roz will talk weather and traffic during GMA. And then you'll hear from them in just a moment. From everyone here at ABC7, have a great day. We'll see you again tomorrow at 7.
Here in Chicago, our weather is always changing. That's why ABC7 Eyewitness News is always there.
There when you need us.